What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blueblood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, sources close to the situation tells me that we are on the verge of getting the highly anticipated massive showdown between two iconic, legendary women boxers in the sport of boxing, whom are both undefeated. This comes in the form of Olympic two-time gold medalist, three-division world champion, undisputed middleweight world champion, Claressa T-Rex Shields, and you got it, undefeated, legendary, iconic, superstar boxer, daughter of the legendary GOAT, Muhammad Ali, Laila Ali, could possibly come to fruition in 2021. I'm being told that there's investors, they have found investors close to the situation that are willing to put up the money to stage this showdown. We heard Laila Ali on multiple occasions. If you don't know, they have been feuding, right? And we heard Laila Ali on multiple occasions say that, give me $5 million and I'll make the fight happen. I'll get in shape. She's been retired for quite some time, but she stated that she's always in shape. She's just not in boxing shape. She said, give me some time and give me $5 million and I'll definitely be in shape to make this fight happen. Obviously, Claressa Shields is active, and Claressa Shields is dominating the sport of boxing in the women department, right? Some will argue she should be in the top 10 pound for pound list overall in the sport of boxing. She's become a three-division world champion faster than anybody in the history of the sport of boxing, male or female. She is dominating. She's undisputed at the middleweight division. She's a three-division world champion, and she's doing so with, get this, only 10 fights. So Claressa Shields is dominating within the sport of boxing. Now, we already know and we understand that Laila Ali have paved the way for women boxing, right? She has opened so many doors for the sport of boxing in the women department, right? So Laila Ali is a crossover star because she's a superstar outside of the sport of boxing. She's a crossover. She's box office, and we know this. Obviously, her father being Muhammad Ali is definitely gonna play a part in Laila Ali, and her success as far as the sport of boxing goes. And she's just a polarizing figure, as her dad was a polarizing figure. But she backed it up in the ring. There's a lot of father, sons, legends, and their children that participate within the sport of boxing, and it don't pan out that way, right? We see most recently Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., his son, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., just doesn't live up to the billing. Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is a legend in the sport. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Drags his feet, right? To say the least. So he just doesn't live up to the billing. And so Laila Ali has done her part within the sport of boxing. And now we get Claressa Shields, obviously, has done more than her part. So Laila Ali has paved the way, and Claressa Shields is taking it to another level. So with that said, obviously, this is massive. They have been going back and forth via social media, doing interviews and, letting it be known that there's no love lost, and they won't mind sharing the squared circle and see who the best of the best truly is. Who is the, GOAT in the women department. Claressa Shields is, her nickname is the GOAT, greatest woman of all time. And a lot of women in the sport of boxing didn't take too lightly of that because they feel like she named herself, and, you should let your peers and, other people, name you the GOAT, right? They feel like she self-proclaimed herself as the GOAT. And, a lot of people just didn't take too kindly that. But Claressa Shields is, super confident. She believes in her ability, and rightfully so, because look what she has accomplished. She's a two-time gold medalist in the Olympics. She's a three-division world champion. She's undisputed. What more? Everything else she does forward from here on out is just toppings. It's just adding more cherries and cherries on top of an already Hall of Fame career in such a short period of time. That says a lot. That speaks volumes, right? She doesn't have 20-plus fights. She has 10 fights, and look what she accomplished in 10 fights. She's fighting world champions. She wants to fight the best. I mean, her resume speaks for itself. You get guys like Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, who gets praised for his amateur background and becoming a 3-division world champion as a professional in only 15 fights. Well, Claressa Shields has topped that, and she too is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist like Vasily Lomachenko, right? Her amateur background is stellar as well. So she should get the praise. The praise that she gets is well deserved, right? She earned it. Laila Ali, the praise that she gets is deserved because she earned it, right? She opened doors. She paved the way. So neither one of them are short on accomplishments and stature. That's why that makes this massive. This has to be a pay-per-view event. This is the first time you'll get 2 women headlining a pay-per-view event. And guess what? I'm expecting this to do 1 million pay-per-views at the very least. At the very least. And I think that the co-main event should be a massive women fight. Right? That's what I believe. Because this is a road grader. Right? They're getting ready to create even more history. And so in doing so, being a pay-per-view event, right? Being a main event for a pay-per-view headline card speaks volumes in itself. And they can carry the sport for women also to a whole new level by doing so as well. So, like I said, I'm expecting this fight to do at least 1 million pay-per-view buys. Laila Ali, $10 million should not be hard to come by for these 2 iconic legends in the sport of boxing. You get men that are, we got Mikey Garcia gets $7 million to fight Jesse Vargas in a 1-fight deal on DAZN. We can't come up with $10 million, $5 million for Claressa Shields, $5 million for Laila Ali for this massive pay-per-view card, for this massive event. We need to come up with the money. There needs to be a solution for women's boxing. I hope they too up the rounds because Claressa Shields and a lot of women have been campaigning to have 3-minute rounds. Women boxing only 2-minute rounds. They've been campaigning to have 3-minute rounds. And I hope this is the fight that opens that door as well. They could create so much history just putting their names on paper alongside one another. That's history in itself. And the difference that they can make and the changes they can make for the sport of boxing for women is massive. It's massive. This is history in the making, and I truly hope that this fight comes to fruition. Laila Ali said that she'll knock Claressa Shields out. Claressa Shields obviously feels like she'll knock Laila Ali out. Laila Ali has tons of knockouts on her resume, and this is a huge fight. This is just a massive, huge fight, right? They're not short on words, neither one of them. The buildup for this fight will be massive. They need to have their own 24/7 for this fight. Fight camp 360, 24/7, whatever it may be. They need to have this for this fight. The buildup for this fight is going to be enormous. What can I say? It sells itself. Their names sell itself, right? Their accomplishment sells itself. And like I said, they're not short on words. So the buildup, can you imagine the press conferences? Laila Ali, their interviews separate is massive. Can you imagine putting them on the same stage at a press conference, doing a 4-city tour? Because we're talking about this fight taking place in 2021, so maybe things can clear up. I would love to see this fight take place at Madison Square Garden in New York or the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Those are the 2 venues that I believe that should be the front runners to host this event. It should be Madison Square Garden. It should be the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Then third, it should be Las Vegas, right? The MGM. I truly believe it should be history. Madison Square Garden is the most famous arena in the world. The Staples Center is the middle of Los Angeles, La La Land. So I believe those 2 attractions would make the fight that much bigger because it's historic, right? Yes, MGM Las Vegas is quote unquote the face of the state of boxing, right? But Madison Square Garden in New York for this type of fight would be enormous. In the main arena or the Staples Center would be enormous. You're going to get all types of stars, all types of celebrities, and you could pack more people in these arenas. So I truly believe that this should take place at Madison Square Garden or Los Angeles at the Staples Center. But nonetheless, it will be massive. Massive. Okay? And like I said, history is going to be created when you're going to have two women headlining the first pay-per-view in the history of sport of boxing. And I'm expecting it to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys because it's not going to be any shortage of selling this fight. The promotion for this fight is going to be huge. It's going to be massive, right? And it excites me. This would be the second biggest fight or the third biggest fight in the sport of boxing. The first biggest fight to me is obviously Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, right? The second biggest fight is got to be Claressa Shields and Laila Ali. Now, some will argue it could be Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury trilogy, or Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, or Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. But this is massive. And I believe this would trump those fights because we saw Anthony Joshua lose. We saw Deontay Wilder lose now, even though Deontay Wilder's situation is a lot of asterisks by it. But nonetheless, they both have losses on their resume. This would be huge. And of course, as the heavyweight division goes, so goes the sport of boxing. So that would be huge in itself. But this fight would be massive. I think this is the second biggest fight in the sport of boxing. I think it would do 1 million pay-per-view buys if promoted correctly. And like I said, their accomplishments alone and the fact that you're going to have Muhammad Ali's name attached to it. Not to take anything away from Laila Ali or Claressa Shields, but it's just going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It can't fail, right? And like I said, they're not short on promoting the fight as well. So it can't fail, in my opinion. And I think this massive, and I think it's a road grader. I think it's going to pave the way for so many women coming behind them. I think this is a historic event, and I think it's a win-win for both parties involved. Obviously, both are going to want to keep that O and want to prove that they are the GOAT. This is the fight that's going to crown the true official GOAT in the sport of boxing for women. I don't believe that Katie Taylor could beat Claressa Shields or Laila Ali. They're too big for her. Amanda Serrano is definitely, a legend in the sport of boxing. She's a 7-division world champion. There's a lot of legends within the sport of boxing as far as the women's side goes. But these two are the two legends, right? So let's make it happen. Hopefully it comes to fruition, but that's what my sources are telling me. There is an investor willing to put up the money. Let's get it done. So drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.